Hey guys, this is Alice Stone, and today I'm going to be doing a small review about the Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale movie, because apparently I think really well at 11 p.m. at night. So, yeah, I just recently finished watching the movie online, obviously, because I missed it in theaters, a derp. And, yeah, I have a couple of things to say about it. And I actually made some notes here. For the first time, actually, Alice is organized. So, I am going to be covering the good stuff and the bad stuff that I personally believed about the movie. And I really hope you guys enjoy, and I hope that you guys respect my opinion. I respect yours, of course, because we know that Sword Art Online is a pretty, I don't know, how should I call it, sensitive topic, I guess, in the anime community, because some people love it, some people hate it, and it's really, really hard not to get on people's nerves sometimes, so I'm gonna try my best to not insult any side, because I'm really not in any side, to be honest. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm gonna explain myself for a little bit right now, so on with the video. So, the first thing I want to talk about is, obviously, I am sorry that I didn't do this earlier, because I know that I'm pretty late in the Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale movie hype. But the thing is, when I saw this trailer for the first time, I was like, huh, this is cool. I was pretty hyped, I'm not gonna lie. I was hyped. Especially since I heard that there was gonna be a new song released by Liza, and I was like, oh my god, yes, I need this in my life. And I was okay, but then when I heard that it was going to be an original story, I kind of became a little skeptical, because the main reason sometimes anime companies do original stories with certain series is because they just want to get some money out of this series that is quite popular, doing something that isn't relevant to the plot, and be able to get more money out of it without actually spending the plot's material, I guess. And sometimes they ruin it. And sometimes they don't, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's pretty good, because we need some character development. But that's what I was worried about Ordinal Scale. And I'm gonna be covering first the bad stuff, because I want to leave the good stuff for the end, to soothe the wounds of myself and other people. Okay, first of all, the bad stuff about this movie. Number one, which I believe is one of the most important things, it doesn't make much sense. And I know you're probably gonna say, like, yeah, Alice, it doesn't make sense. Didn't you just say yourself that this movie isn't relevant to the plot whatsoever? Yes, I know I said that, but actually in a story, it wasn't really, I don't know, it wasn't really organized correctly, I guess? I don't know. It just didn't make much sense. Sometimes if I didn't pay much attention into the subtitles, I didn't know what was going on. That's how much sense this movie made. Like, sometimes you can actually look at the screen and kind of figure out what's going on by the character's facial expressions, and sometimes, since you're so anime lover, you actually kind of understand some words in Japanese already without looking at the subtitles. But it wasn't the case for me in this movie. It was pretty weird, because first we see, like, how Ordinal Scale works, and then we just jump into this whole arc with whatchamacallit, fighting off the monsters that apparently are bosses that used to be in SAO. And then we got to see a little bit of later of Yuna's story, and I don't know, it was like, meh. I didn't understand much about what was going on. I did understand that Yuna apparently was a player in SAO, and then she died, and then they're trying to bring her back. That's why the whole deal is actually happening. But I didn't actually really quite grasp if the Yuna that we see is actually like an AI, or if she's real. I was left with these weird doubts, and I had to try to rewatch certain scenes because I didn't get them. I was like, what? But how did we jump from this to this? Like, it just didn't make much sense. For me, I don't even know if it was actually an issue for other people. Maybe I was distracted, but I doubt it. I don't know. It was just pretty weird. So, second pointer. it was all over the place. What do I mean by all over the place? I mean, like, there were some good plot lines in this movie. You could have done pretty good plots, but they were trying to, I don't know, like, pay attention to all the characters, and they didn't give enough time to close what they started. You know, like, it's kind of like, what can I put it as an example? Like, when you put a quote, like, first quotes, and then you don't close those quotes. It's kind of like that. I don't know if you understand. Like, you start something and you don't finish it. And I like that they pay attention to other characters that aren't just the main ones, like Kirito and Asuna. I like that, but I guess that's why it's better to do animes instead of movies sometimes, because you don't have enough time to give this character the certain development into their story as it's needed. So it was pretty all over the place. There were so many plots that were kind of left unanswered, many things that could have been a pretty good plot, but they didn't use them. So yeah, it was pretty meh. And third pointer is that some stuff was kind of unnecessary. Like, sometimes they gave too much attention to certain characters. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, the scene where Silica starts singing in the middle of the mall, it was pretty cute, but they just gave it too much time, and I was like, okay, this is too much. Like, bro, I know you're trying to get to the fans, like, I know you're trying to get to the fans that consider Silica a waifu of some sorts, but don't pay too much attention into this, because remember what the movie is about. So, I guess, besides from that, there were little stuff I don't remember at the top of my head right now, but some stuff that I felt was kind of unnecessary into this movie. So, those are the basic stuff that I thought they were bad about the movie. Now, on with the good stuff, the stuff I did enjoy. Number one, the animation. It's no secret that Sword Art Online has a pretty good animation, because I love how they do the fight scenes. I love how they use all these, I don't know, the movements, the articulations of all the characters. They look pretty realistic, and I love it. And especially with this movie, I thought since the art was going to be a little bit different, I thought it was going to be pretty weird, but it wasn't. I really liked it. And the colors that they were using for these characters were also pretty good, and so on, so on. Second, we have the soundtrack, which is something I loved. Like, remember that thing that I said that I heard that there was going to be a new song released by Liza? Have you guys heard that song, Catch the Moment? Like, oh, it's so good. Like, I just love that song. It's stuck in my head, like, all day afternoon. I'm, like, all singing, like, Baku no kora kimi da toki ni hara da. And it's stuck in my head, and I just can't stop singing it. Like, and that's a good thing. Like, and it's not like one of those things that they're just popular and then they get in your head even though that you don't want it. It actually, I did want to learn that song because it was so good. And not just that song, like the soundtrack in general from the movie was pretty good. It was really good composed. Like, I've always liked Sword Art Online's soundtrack, so that's kind of a plus. Number 3, which is really good and I actually quite enjoyed, Kirito isn't a Super Saiyan. What do I mean by this? Like, Kirito in this movie is not immortal for the very first time. Like, we know that Kirito is like super, I don't know, he's like super at the top of the chains. He doesn't even need to do much effort, and he actually wins every single time, even though we see that there's a lot of tension and whatever. The first season we knew Kirito was always gonna win because he had like these godly powers that nobody could surpass him for some reason, like because he was just a gamer, I guess. He learned a lot of hacks and stuff, and he was always like so invincible, and I think the fandom really didn't like that much about him, and I personally didn't like it either, because when a character isn't that relatable and they're just super powerful and all, it's not that popular. So I'm really glad in this movie, apparently Kirito didn't get much experience. He stopped playing RPG games for a while. He stopped playing BR MMOs, and when he finally started playing Ordinal Scale, apparently he had a different system, and he had to like whatchamacallit, he had to adapt again. He had to learn all this stuff all over again. He was so behind from everybody else, and I just loved it. Like, finally, something good. Like, which kind of leads me to the last point, which is Asuna is a badass again. Like, we know Asuna just stopped being a cool badass that she was in the first season and kind of became like the damsel in distress, which is something I don't like about female characters. I feel bad when they degrade them, like, all to that level that sometimes they just end up being like the damsel in distress. That's just the word for it. And in this movie, Asuna isn't that much. She actually can take care of herself. She isn't actually captured or anything. Kirito doesn't really need to protect her too much, because I know that he does protect her sometimes there, but she actually puts up a fight of her own, because she actually goes behind Kirito's back and goes and fights. She participates in this fight along with Klein and other people, and she can handle herself quite well. So that's pretty good. I love to see that Asuna is finally a little bit better as a character. So those are the pointers that I wanted to talk about the movie. So generally, what do I think about the movie? It was okay. I'm just going to leave it to that. Just like Sword Art Online, it's okay. Like, the series in general, I don't love SAO, but I don't hate it either. It's okay, because certain seasons are bad, certain arcs are bad, but certain things also compensate into it, so I'm not going to say it's bad. Is it worth watching? Well, I guess it is if you're a pretty good SAO fan. Like I said, these pointers maybe might make you want to go see it, but if you're looking for it for the plot, then you're not going to find much of a plot there. But in general, I think it would be actually cool if you want to see it. If you don't have anything else to do or whatever, and you just are like, oh, I want to watch a movie, then sure, this is a movie to pass the time. You can watch it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed my review. I hope you guys enjoyed this new style that I kind of made it into. Please leave a comment, tell me what did you guys think about this movie. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Do you think it's better than SAO in general? What will you make better of this movie? And yeah, subscribe, like the video, and I really hope you guys can stick around for more reviews that I might be doing later of other anime movies that I just barely caught up into. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching again, and I'll see you later. Bye! Hey guys, this is Alice Stone.